So if you're looking for a larger tablet, today we're comparing the new OnePlus Pad 3 and the Galaxy Tab S10 Plus, since they don't make a larger S11 version at this size. But which one is the better option? Well, let's talk about it. When it comes to price, the Tab S10 Plus is usually higher, starting around $999, although I've seen it at just over $800 here recently. The OnePlus Pad 3 starts right at $700. Both of these start at 256 gigabytes of storage, so pretty good in my opinion. You can also use a micro SD card to expand the storage on Samsung, but unfortunately not on the OnePlus Pad 3. The best parts of these two are definitely the display sizes. They're nice and large at 12.4 inches for Samsung versus 13.2 inches for OnePlus. You've got a dynamic AMOLED 2X display on Samsung versus IPS LCD for OnePlus, up to 120 Hz refresh rate for Samsung versus 144 Hz for OnePlus. I think both of these look really good in person. The blacks might be a little darker and have a little better contrast on Samsung. You can also see the different aspect ratios between the two. I think it's going to come down to personal preference, but overall I don't think you can go wrong with either one. You've got pretty good battery life on both of these. Probably not a huge surprise, but considering you get a larger battery in the OnePlus Pad 3, it lasted about 1.5 hours longer than Samsung. In my typical battery drain test at 100% screen brightness, you also get almost double the charging speed with OnePlus at 80 watts versus 45 watts for Samsung. I think you could get a couple days with normal use on both of these tablets, even longer once you turn the screen brightness down. But if you want the tablet with better battery life, I'd go with the OnePlus Pad 3. Software wise, they're definitely going to be a little different considering OnePlus is using ColorOS and Samsung uses the One UI skin that's on top of Android. I actually like things about both, and it's definitely going to come down to personal preference on which has the better software. I've got more experience with Samsung, so it's probably a little more familiar to me, but if you want to try something different, I feel like OnePlus is a pretty good option. One advantage with Samsung is you have a built-in fingerprint scanner, where I think OnePlus not having a fingerprint scanner is a mistake, but maybe that's just me. I like that you've got Samsung DeX on the S10 Plus to be a little more productive. As far as I know, OnePlus does not have a desktop mode, but at least you can use an HDMI adapter for both tablets to connect to a projector, TV, or external monitor, which is always nice to have on a tablet. Also with Samsung, you have the S Pen included, which is one of the best ways to draw, take notes, or just move around the software. You can also use the OnePlus Stylo 2 with OnePlus. I feel like it's pretty similar to the Apple Pencil Pro. Just feels like nice quality overall, and I think most people will enjoy using it, but just keep in mind it usually comes at an extra cost. One big advantage with Samsung is you've got 7 years of software updates, where you only get 3 years major software updates and 6 years security updates for the OnePlus Pad 3. So it's going to be pretty tough to beat Samsung when it comes to software support, especially on tablets. Now, one advantage for the OnePlus Pad 3 is when it comes to performance with the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor versus MediaTek Dimensity 9300 Plus in the Galaxy Tab. As you can see here from the benchmark results, the GPU performance is also quite a bit better on the OnePlus Pad 3 as well. I think both tablets are good options for gaming, but they're pretty large to handle for some games in my opinion. I usually prefer smaller sized tablets, so it's easier to reach things on the screen. But if you're using a controller, most games are going to look really nice regardless of which one you go with. But of course, if you want the more powerful tablet, you'll want to go with the OnePlus Pad 3. I actually think both of these tablets have pretty good audio as well, even though the OnePlus Pad 3 has 8 speakers. I think Samsung does a pretty good job with its quad speaker setup. Here's a few quick samples just so you can hear how they sound next to each other.
But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray. Guess you try to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. As you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away.
Now, when it comes to cameras, you got two on the back for Samsung, a 13 megapixel wide angle and an 8 megapixel ultra wide versus one 13 megapixel on the back of OnePlus. Then you have a 12 megapixel on the front for Samsung versus 8 megapixel for the OnePlus Pad 3. So a little better resolution on the Galaxy Tab. You can also shoot up to 4K resolution for video recording on both as well. I might lean slightly towards Samsung as far as which one has better quality, but here's a few quick samples just to give you an idea of how they compare. I think if you want the tablet with better screen quality, the pen included, SD card slot, plus a fingerprint scanner, and longer software support, Samsung is going to be the clear winner. But if you just want better performance, faster charging speeds, a higher refresh rate, plus at a more affordable price, then you'll definitely want to go with the OnePlus Pad 3. If you like tablets, phones, and other tech, I've got a lot more stuff that I'm working on as usual, so you'll want to keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.